drink up me hearties, yo-ho. Yo-ho, yo-ho, a pirate's life for me.
Deadstorm Pirates is a 2009 arcade rail shooter from Bandai Namco, where we play as fantasy pirates in a small crew searching for the legendary treasure Poseidon's Breath. Due to its mix of adventurous setting and solid gameplay, Deadstorm Pirates has solidified itself as a rail shooter that is often found in the wild even to this day. As a fantasy pirate adventure, it has all the staples: a charismatic crew, skeleton pirates, the Kraken, cursed treasures, the works. In terms of software, it plays on a glorified PlayStation 3. I'm not kidding. It shows in the game too, as the graphics are exactly what you would imagine from a PlayStation 3 of the time. Still, it works well enough, and the game's uniqueness comes in with the hardware. While the guns are mounted turret style, which was popularized by Ocean Hunter and is the default nowadays, Deadstorm Pirate booths came equipped with an additional steering wheel. Fashioned after a miniature ship's wheel, these were used to navigate specific sections or complete QuickTime events, which were a growing trend at the time. They were originally released in closed booths, fashioned after pirate ships, which they felt was something worth advertising as the game's subtitle for some reason. Despite that though, standing booths were eventually released with notably less impressive theming. There are also limited event variations, modded, and bootleg versions floating around, so collectors beware. I'll get more into that later. The Attract demo is just a gameplay trailer with no unique story footage, so let's jump right into the game itself.
Deadstorm Pirates.
Interestingly enough, we open in on a level select. You can start on any level you want except the last level, as that's only unlocked after you complete the rest of the game. It's also notable that starting the game on any level except the first stage marked Start From Here will lock out that first stage and consider it complete. This is really nice from an arcade limited token consumer standpoint, but for the sake of the story, we'll start here at the Stormy Sea.
It's so calm.
It's said, those who seek, beware.
Whatever comes our way, our golden guns will get us through.
Prepare for attack.
Eric and Leah, steer.
Here they come.
Starboard.
Right! Rudder!
We waste no time on establishing the wheel mechanic. That makes sense considering it's unique to this game and the guns need no introduction. The first mate gives full instructions the entire time too, just in case you need additional help. Don't worry too much if your wheel is broken, by the way, as just like the QuickTime events of the Let's Go series, you cannot die from failing a wheel event, though you can still be left down to literally 1% health.
Captain, they've brought their ship alongside.
Make them regret they came after us.
Raise your gun.
Yes, sir.
Shoot them with your golden guns.
In traditional fantasy pirate fashion, we are attacked by a ridiculously large number of undead skeleton pirates. For most, your window of attack is their run up to you, but occasionally one or two will drop down on the far sides of your screen for a quick hit. We sweep the intruders off the deck and try to make our way to the rest of the crew.
Come over here. What on earth is that?
These big guys utilize our old favorite, target circles. They usually have one on each knee and one on the chest. This brings us to one of this game's gimmicks. The the co-op shot. If you have 2 players, then shooting the same target close enough together gives extra damage. This isn't new or unique to Deadstorm Pirates, but what sets it apart is that it requires the use of joint shots. If both players are active, then the health of the target circles are much higher, requiring joint shots to do any significant damage. This is fine most of the time. More likely than not, both players will be capable enough to pull this off. This does, however, mean that having an inexperienced second player, such as a young kid, would be a big enough liability to cost you the game. Keep that in mind if you play this game in the wild. Little Timmy is going to have to sit this one out. We take out the big guy and join up with our crew.
Don't you dare let him close in on us. He really nailed them.
Apparently, this undead crew includes Vikings, but both of these big guys work identically to the last one. Another wave of skeletons and we catch up with our last crew member.
Help! Can you help him?
Up the mast, right?
You two, where do you think you're going? What are you doing climbing the net?
Just when I have to rush.
Up on the ropes, we get a clear view of the enemy ship. Despite throwing Molotovs at us, they are storing quite a few explosive barrels on deck.
Yes! An enormous blast!
While we're up here, we get some flying enemies and these Grim Reaper looking guys. Flying Dutchman? I don't know, but you need to prioritize whichever one is preparing their scythe first, or you'll take on damage. This whole time, our crewmate's been screaming for help.
We'll use this.
Please get us there on time.
You're shooting from up there?
This big Viking guy has a shield. Prioritize the little guys off to the side, or you'll take on a lot of unnecessary damage. Once clear, destroy the target circle in the center of the shield.
You really smashed it!
Once he loses his shield, the big guy works like any other large enemy.
Oh, got him!
Our enemies are not done yet.
Whoa! There's another ship from the starboard side. We've got to stop them. Get ready to fire!
Barrage fire. Let them swallow their own fire.
Get the cannons!
Fire!
Fire!
In cannon mode, your attacks are limited by a cooldown bar. To add challenge to this, the enemy will shoot cannonballs at you that you must shoot down in addition to the main target. As long as you manage your timing, these are fun sections that will make the player feel powerful.
Apparently, they're not giving up the treasure without a fight.
Legend tells, Poseidon's breath is in the mountains, protected by 3 monsters.
Monsters? In the mountains? What do you mean?
We're going to take down those monsters and get the treasure.
With the golden guns, we can do it.
Let's get to it.
Adventure! We are thrown back into the level select. At this point, we can choose any of the 3 available options without having to worry about being locked out of content. For the sake of this review, let's go in the level order that creates the most cohesive narrative. Seeing as we're still in our ship, let's head towards the Great Whirlpool.
Here it comes.
All hands on deck!
Leah, we have to protect the ship.
With us still being on our boat as we are attacked by skeletons, the Whirlpool level feels more like a continuation of the opening segment rather than a separate section. Like before, we have to fend off waves of skeletons. Molotovs are eventually thrown, but it's better to focus on the immediate skeletons and the already thrown bottles, as knocking out the throwers themselves doesn't seem to do much.
Bugs all over the place!
Get them before they come near us!
Shelled bugs with mouths on their underside will make up a majority of this game's swarm enemies. They will approach in 1 or 2 lines, and will jump on our faces if they get too close. Their lines are very tight compared to other games' swarm patterns, so cleaning off a line without getting hit is surprisingly easy in some sections. Another wave of skeletons, and the Kraken shows himself. The Kraken? The Kraken requires immediate wheel action. Having missed, the overgrown calamari will start tossing debris at us. Marked with target circles, the debris is easily shot away. It seems the Kraken is the least of our problems right now, though.
We're crashing!
Here's a new flavor of wheel event: steering. Strange use of the ship's wheel, I know. Steering sections are exactly what they sound like. Using the wheel, you direct the ship as it drives around the wreckage of our previous enemies. The challenge is 1. The steering has to be very precise, and moving too far in either direction will cause a collision. And 2. The invisible corridor. The ship's actual space to move isn't quite matched up to the visible pathways. For example, for this particular ship, the obvious way is to go left. Yes, we are closer to the Kraken, but we avoid that incoming ship off to the right. The game disagrees though, and attempting to go left at all results in a miss. You are supposed to go right and then make an extremely tight left turn to avoid the incoming ship.
We've got to weave through the wreckage!
And the whole section has minor versions of this problem. Memorizing the route is the only reliable way to get through this section damage-free.
We've got to slip through them!
Reapers returned for another round, but this time they brought their manager out from the back room. The Red Reaper is a bit annoying to hit. He's protected by a target circle, but he swings back and forth in a way that is stressful on the mounted turrets. Thankfully, this is all wind up to his attack, so if you break the circle in time, he won't get a single hit on you.
That ship over there! Get the cannons ready! Fire!
We do what we should have done from the beginning and bring out the cannons. We sink the last of the undead fleet and turn our attention to the Kraken.
It's the Kraken again! Please take the wheel. He's yanking so hard.
With him pulling us by the mast, we use the default wheel action to fight away.
That's right!
Oh no!
Oh no, this ship won't last much longer.
The Kraken finally has a health bar, and y'all know what that means. We shoot away his tentacles via circle targets, with more being added each round. Clearing a limb will cause damage.
Alright!
We'll keep his eyes on us!
This ship won't last.
But failing to clear all the limbs on screen before they hit will restart the number of active limbs on screen. In other words, ignore the health bar, as it's exclusively cinematic.
Finish him off in one blast! Fire!
Remembering we have cannons, we do a lot more than one blast, but we do ultimately finish off the beast.
We did it!
Is everyone okay?
Looks like everyone's... well...
Before we go any further, let's take a look at some of the other gameplay mechanics we've come across so far. First is the special shot. When we pick up these green crystals, new crosshairs will be added to our guns. Rotating faster on momentum, these extra shots just wreck the enemies and can quickly clear the screen. Unfortunately, these power-ups are at very specific points in the level and always last only until the next story beat a few seconds later. Still, these feel very nice and can definitely help with longer enemy waves and swarms. Next are these plain treasure chests littered about the background. If shot, they give extra points. That's honestly about it. I briefly thought that this was where the green crystals spawned from, but on reviewing the footage, that doesn't appear to be the case. Special shock crystals just drop from the heavens and hover in the air. There are some treasure chests with health though. Every once in a while, the story will lead us to finding some treasure chests.
Treasure hunt!
You have a brief amount of time to choose a chest and open it with a shot. Then it may either be empty,
I drew a blank.
or it may give a small amount of health.
We did it!
As far as I can tell, it's mostly random with a slight preference for left. If there's an in-game way to tell which chest is the winner, I never figured it out. Finally, as a small bonus, if a player 2 enters a game, then the player 1 will get a small wheel of fortune to decide if they get some health back or not. Assuming we landed on the southwest shore, our next destination is the caves.
It's a ghost!
Oh, my back.
Hey guys, are you okay?
I certainly do not need your help.
I don't think we can climb from here.
If we can't go up, let's go straight.
Is this their hideout?
This cave was the hideout of our undead foes, and they're not happy to see us. For some reason, many of the enemies here have target circles, but some enemies of the same type don't. Either way, we clear a path out of the room and into the corridor.
Though this is their hideout, I guess we've got to move on.
There must be something behind this.
He's a ghost, trapped in a sword. Shoot the sword. I'll tell you all about him later. Shoot the sword. He's a ghost, trapped in a sword. His body is just a sham. That is a sword fountain. Evil swords that devour souls. Dark swords of horror.
I get it! Swords! The sword phantoms are easy to figure out considering the weapons are all we can see half the time. Still, Gramps here won't shut up for 5 seconds about them. Even when Hone Edge evolves into Doublade, he insists on repeating himself.
Don't be fooled. Aim at the sword.
I'm happy when the bats appear because then at least he has something else to talk about.
They're still here. Keep shooting.
We're rewarded with a treasure hunt and a peek at this level's boss.
Let the gun go. He's coming at you.
Got a duck!
This introduces our newest flavor of wheel-based QuickTime events, dodging. Similar to normal wheel actions, we have to turn to follow an arrow. Rather than turn the wheel rapidly for several seconds though, we have 1 second to rotate the wheel a single time in the appropriate direction. If you take too long or rotate in the incorrect direction, you fail the action and take damage. While I like how they use the idea for the most part, the mechanic can just devastate your health if your reactions with the wheel aren't perfect. We quickly wheel dodge out of the way as the snake attempts to strike us. This sequence in particular gives less time to react than the others. It's definitely better to get practice in on other levels prior to this one.
Just a little bit more. Let's get away.
The snake accidentally hits its head against the ceiling, stunning it long enough for us to escape.
I really hope the captain and everybody's okay. To your right.
We clear away more skeletons, including another Viking, before we catch sight of our crew.
Yeah! Way to go! Well, I give you credit for this.
Over here. We can go up on this.
They're still after us.
Oh no!
I can't even count them.
6. There's 6.
Shoot! We need more time to fix these!
Is there a way we can hold them off somehow?
We can use this, can't we?
Yes, we can.
Show them you can make it. Fire!
Using the cannon, we finish off the skeletons and blow up the platforms they're standing on.
Repairs completed. Great job!
I heard this can take us to where the ceiling monster lives.
I feel it in my bones.
Hang on tight!
We only get a few target circles in before we need to focus on steering the cart rather than shooting the snake. We steer around the curve of the tunnel to avoid structures, getting a brief window to fend off the snake before focusing on shooting away debris from our path. The whole section is at a breakneck speed and is very satisfying. Despite catching up to our crew, the snake is still hot on our tail. We hold him off a few times before opportunity presents itself.
You've got to give him the final word. An enormous blast. Keep at it.
Looks like he won't give us trouble.
It appears that we've done it, Captain.
All right, I'm ready for some more. Whoa!
Hey, this looks like a way out.
Real quick, let's take a look at our little pirate crew. I'm sure you've noticed that in addition to being charismatic, they are also suspiciously familiar. Our captain is a less backstabby Jack Sparrow.
Looks like everyone's... well...
Our first mate Joseph is Smee, but now filled with old man wisdom and less Irish.
It's said, those who seek, beware.
The comedy relief is Bruno, and thankfully they don't give him too much screen time.
That's right, we did it! Oh!
I said get out of my way.
The hypothetically quiet, big muscle guy is Duncan. He's usually the reason the captain is able to keep up with us off screen. He doesn't say much, but he more than makes up for it by making a lot of what I can only describe as the sounds of Patrick Star mid-coitus.
What a... shattered to pieces.
And of course, we have our two playable characters, the shonen anime protagonists, Eric and Leah.
Leah, nice work.
You too, Eric.
Oh, and let's not forget the captain, Scarlet Macaw, Pore Pore.
What have you found?
Little dude finds us the treasure chest for the
Treasure hunt!
While far from unique, this cast is perfect for a pirate adventure rail shooter. Back to the story. Assuming our crew has left the rail cart and are venturing further inland by boat, let's go to the mountain stream next.
Get out of my way.
This is strange. It's too quiet. This area should be crawling with monsters.
Perhaps it's the calm before the storm.
Everyone, be prepared.
Floating down the river, our brave crew of treasure hunters drift into a large cavernous tunnel.
Whoa!
They're coming at us!
Bring it on!
Overrun by a cloud of bats, you'll find that this level in particular likes to use swarm enemies. The movement pattern of the bats is pretty straightforward, with them moving directly at you and hesitating in your face a bit before attacking. The window to hit them is surprisingly wide, and the only real chance of taking damage is if the numbers overwhelm you.
Just a little more! You made it!
As we emerge from the cavern, the water speeds up, and we are quickly at the mercy of the rapids. It's time for a dodging wheel event. At least for this particular dodging section, you can memorize the sequence to get a perfect score, which isn't the case with any other dodging sequence. They appear to be random in direction more often than not. I do love how the rest of your crew in their own boat serve as your surprise final dodge.
Good. Perfect.
Still speeding down the rapids, we have to shoot away debris blocking our path.
What?
Above you?
This seems like an odd place for an Indiana Jones-style boulder chase, but it's a remarkably easy section, so there isn't much time to dwell on it.
Smash them! You're all here. What have you found?
Pore found us treasure to prove our bad luck with.
Drew a blank.
And we continue on our way.
Oh, the fish! They're gonna eat me alive! Help!
Our next enemy type is a school of man-eating fish. They are also a swarm enemy, but unlike the line-following bugs and direct-attacking bats, the fish take on a bouncing window movement pattern. It's actually really interesting to see so many clear-cut swarm movement examples in a single game. Future devs, take note. Clearing out a school reveals a mini-boss fish.
I can't tell where they're coming from. Leaping all at once.
We float by some big enemy crabs that resemble male fiddlers. They're more than a little annoying to deal with, as their gimmick is to block your shots with their claws as they approach. If you only have one to deal with, just holding fire until they reveal their stomach to attack is enough to avoid damage. If you have several, which is more likely the case, you'll have to juggle your focus between the subjects. Like the fish, the crabs have a mini-boss in the form of a large enemy crab, though his mechanics are identical to his smaller variants. It's during this segment that we get a clearer view of the bug enemy's line formation. If you keep lead of the lines with your shots, you can easily clear them before they even jump the rocks. It's shortly after that we get another green crystal and an in-game acknowledgement of our power-up.
So this is the genuine power of the golden gun?
Just around the river bend is some wreckage and an interesting way past it.
Go, go, go! What's that?
Whoa!
To the right.
The rest of the crew just go around it, but Leah and Eric get too distracted by exploding crabs and end up taking the Air Express route.
Too late!
Can't stop.
Time for another steering section.
The current's too fast. Watch the banks.
Gonna duck!
Got it.
Unlike steering the ship around the Whirlpool, the walls of the rapids are visible and obvious. But even though readability isn't a problem, the significantly faster current and falling boulders make this steering section arguably more difficult than the Whirlpool one.
What? The river's split.
No sweat. Move on.
Huh?
Our level boss is a giant enemy false crab. He gives chase, using the walls of the canyon to run above us. We open with some target circles, quickly followed by a dodge section.
What is he trying to do?
Krabby uses Hydro Pump.
Great! You did it!
Seeing the weak link, the crustacean plucks our annoying comic relief from the water.
He got caught!
He uses his captive as a distraction to hit us with his other claw, but shooting off his arm quickly solves the hostage situation.
Save my life!
Bruno!
Rightfully pissed, he starts smashing rocks and trying to attack us from above.
Hold them back!
We counter by shooting off a leg. Foaming at the mouth, the creature keeps up as we break off yet another leg.
That's the way to go! Just a bit more on the legs!
Not enough. Smash them totally.
Now it's a mercy kill.
Nice work.
You too, Eric.
That's right, we did it! Oh!
I said get out of my way.
Let's waste no more time. Onwards to the final boss fight, simply marked Treasure.
Poseidon's breath is up ahead. Let's go.
Oh, yeah!
So which one of these is Poseidon's breath? Captain!
Oh, it's Poseidon's breath. Oh.
What?
Captain!
Everybody, stay back! We're taking you down.
We haven't come this far for nothing.
The final battle starts off strong with Captain Vincent teleporting around the arena. Our friends are immediately scared away from helping us, but nothing new there. Thankfully, Vincent subscribes to the target circle method of boss attacks, and parrying his hits is surprisingly easy. All while this is happening, the first mate is giving us a proud of you encouragement speech worthy of the father you never had.
I'm so proud of you. Keep going like this and you've got him.
Vincent blinks around the stage and even tries to attack us from above, but after enough parries, he gets frustrated and calls in some skeleton pirates to fight us for him.
Coming!
Are those Vincent's men?
The wave is longer than previous ones, but once cleared, Vincent will return.
Over there!
He'll start sending ghost skulls at us, but they're primarily a distraction from his target circle that you'll need to clear.
Don't shoot! Keep shooting!
Looks like you learned how to handle the powerful golden gun.
Vincent goes for another round of teleporting, ending with us knocking him back on his ass.
Well done! Vincent is flinching. Hey, Eric, Leah! Just pierce him. Penetrate that pulp.
Okay, bit of an overkill, but why not? We use the wheel action to wind up a ballista bolt and fire it right into Vincent's heart.
Just a little bit more.
Step on it!
How's this? How's this?
The golden guns, Leah!
Let the guns take care of us all!
Ew. Vincent shambles about while ghost skulls emerge from him. Clear the skulls, and Captain Gum Disease will try to get a bite in. A quick break of the circles will parry the attack though, and you even get a second try before you take damage. This pattern repeats until Vincent's health is finally drained.
You've done it!
Poseidon's breath is finally mine.
What's this?
All anchors up.
We'll have to get out on the ship. Duncan, Sarah, Bruno, get to the bow.
Aye, aye. We're out of here!
The island's falling apart.
That was close.
What? Wait up! Pori Pori!
Joseph, where's my map? Let us set sail once more.
Here we go! Yeah!
And that was Deadstorm Pirates. Deadstorm Pirates is an excellent addition to the genre, and while it took a lot of elements from outside sources, it still managed to come together into something fun and entertaining. Deadstorm Pirates has rightfully built up a number of fans over the years, leading to a home port and, more importantly, a special edition. So, without further ado,
Deadstorm Pirates.
Deadstorm Pirates Special Edition is a 2014 arcade rail shooter from Bandai Namco, where we play as fantasy pirates in a small crew searching for the legendary treasure Poseidon's Breath. Identical to the original in many sections, the Special Edition features new levels and an expanded ending. Our cast, the power-ups and pickups, the graphics, and several levels appear to be exactly the same between the two versions. That in mind, we'll be taking a look at the new levels and other major changes. First big difference is the level select. Rather than needing to complete all the levels to unlock the final one, you only need to complete 3. The opening level does not count to this goal, so if you want the full standard edition experience without the extra levels, that is entirely possible. One of the new levels, the Fortress, is located between the cave and the river rapids, though I would chronologically place it between the rapids and the final battle with Vincent.
There's a curse that made the people who lived here vanish.
What is this? Get out of my way!
Shut up, Bruno. Gameplay starts on a dodge section, with the Guardian trying to hit us with his spear.
You guys alright?
Over here!
We climb up the stairs to make our escape. The Guardian tries to follow, but target circles let us parry his attacks long enough to duck into a building.
It looks like he won't be able to chase us here. We have to meet up with the captain.
Similar to the cave level, we are separated from the crew save for Joseph.
Huh? What?
These warrior statues come to life as we pass by. You cannot get a hit in before they wake up, and not all the statues are even alive. However, their attack pattern is near identical to the skeleton pirates, which is honestly a bit disappointing. They even flood in from off-screen in the same way. To continue the parallels with the cave level, we are even swarmed by a cloud of bats like last time. Remember when I said they have the same behavior as the skeleton pirates? Well, they also have big guy variants, complete with target circle shields and breakable knees. Upside, we get to use the power-up on big guys this time, which is pretty satisfying. Once we clear out the statues, we get a brief moment of peace.
If we stay here too long, the curse will turn us all into statues.
Game, you can't double dip the same jump scare a couple minutes after the first one. The Guardian is back, and while he is too small to enter the hall, he is large enough to reach in for us from both sides. We can knock away his hands via target circles, but he tries again several times. First we shoot his palm, then we shoot his fingers, then we shoot his fingers and his palm. We have a quick treasure hunt before making our way back outside.
Let's hurry. The captain could be in trouble.
We clean off another wave of statues, but this time they are armed with cannons, big axes, and throwing spears. They actually reuse some previous lines from earlier in the game during the spear throwing, but it probably wouldn't be noticeable on the arcade floor. We need to use our wheel action to activate a rather strange trap.
Looks like we need to turn this. Keep turning. This. Oh, didn't make it in time. What a horrible trap. So glad we weren't the ones to get shot down. Look, it's him. Okay, it's our turn to shoot him down.
We use some conveniently placed cannons to attack the Guardian. The boss jumps around in an oddly silly way before coming in for a parryable strike. Because we are using cannons, we need to aim well and time ourselves properly, but this section isn't particularly long.
Looks like that stupid Bruno is under there. Are you using that to go down there? Go! Looks like the captain is okay too. So you're coming again?
Back to normal fire, we knocked the Guardian down to his knees, which gives us a great view of his exposed crystal brain. It takes a couple rounds, but we blast his brain into pieces.
Good job, guys! You all did great!
Shut up, Bruno. Moving on to the other new level, we have the tower. While located in the lower right of the map, I would chronologically place it immediately after the cave due to some shared set pieces.
Hey, look over there! You could make a huge fried egg with this!
This entire level is an extended boss fight, with the bird harassing us almost the entire time. And a bit of an odd mistranslation, the bird is clearly stated to be the mother of the eggs, but is referenced as a male immediately afterwards and for the rest of the level. This is a bit of evidence I have that these added levels are a bit rushed compared to the base games. The statue warriors being reskinned skeletons and a quirk with the attack pattern of an upcoming enemy also serve as evidence. It's funny because the disjointed story flow between some of the levels and cutscenes suggests deleted scenes, but the game doesn't take advantage of any of these. Either way, for now, we have a bird to take care of.
Watch out! Oh no! The tower is collapsing! This way! Jump on! Whoa! Watch out for the boulders!
As the tower falls apart around us, we flee on a hanging gondola. Large chunks of stone, including the head of a large statue, falls on us from above. We can shoot away most of it, but we ultimately switch to a dodging wheel action to avoid the worst of it.
The bird is back!
The bird returns and is none too pleased. It follows us for a bit before we crash our lift into a stone hallway.
I thought I was gonna die there for a minute.
Looks like we have to walk from here.
What are these?
These are frogs. The main variant, these pink ones, will hypothetically leap into our faces and bite us. They hop in our general direction, sometimes without actually getting close to us, and hover in the air while flapping their lips. After a moment, if not shot away, they'll inflict damage. It's a bit broken on the visual elements, and is more evidence to the new sections being rushed. It is nice to see a new enemy that doesn't seem to be a reskin of anything else in the game, even if it's a little derivative of other games in the genre. Speaking of reskins, the frogs have a second variant. Large green frogs will spit balls of purple goo at you. Notably, this predates the 2015 Dilophosaurs by less than a year. There's only a couple of them, and they're easy to take care of. Whoa! With a bird up close like this, we can get a good look at its 4 eyes, which is its weak spot for this segment.
You did it! The floor is gonna crumble! Wow, that was close. Bugs?
The bugs are back with a new reskin, but with this part being only seconds long with a green crystal, it's easy to forgive the recycling. One treasure hunt later, and we're back onto the lift.
Oh no, this isn't gonna last! I guess this is our only choice. Wow!
It's coming!
With the bird right on our tails, we have to clear the target circles before it can swoop in. We only get a short break when we have to shoot away some debris off the track.
Straight ahead, break it down!
Just as we fight off the bird, our suspension track comes to an end.
Ha! That's what you get!
Oh no, the track!
Magically, we are just fine.
Is everyone okay? Okay, we're gonna finish this now.
Big Bird here seems to be injured and is responding by throwing a temper tantrum. The rapid movements make it hard to get a hit in, but tightly following the jumping pattern will clear out the targets. After a couple rounds, it starts to slow down from exhaustion. It goes in for one last lunge, leaving its mouth open for an easy parry.
Yes!
Looks like they've made it as well.
Hey guys, are you okay?
While that's it in terms of new levels, there is an additional segment added to the end of the final cutscene.
The island's falling apart.
That was close.
What? Wait up! Pori
Joseph, where's my map? Let us set sail once more.
Here we go!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
The ship is flying! So this is the power of the Poseidon's breath.
And that was Deadstorm Pirates Special Edition. As far as music goes, the soundtrack is made up of pretty solid, if generic, adventure music perfect for the pirate setting. Like most rail shooters, the sound mixing is a bit off, with the guns often being louder than the dialogue. Explosions in particular are likely to blow your eardrums. Speaking of the dialogue, the voice acting is, in rail shooter tradition, fairly terrible. The voice choices themselves aren't bad, but it's obvious that the voice actors weren't given any context. Leah in particular says things in a carefree or slightly sassy tone, my favorite being the "Hello, they're skeletons" line. I would also like to point out that unlike most Rail games, the character or player you pick does change some voice lines, such as what sound you make when you're hit, or specific dialogue referring to your guns.
What is this sudden surge of power in Eric? What is this sudden surge of power in Leah?
Overall, I would say that both versions of Deadstorm Pirates are pretty solid entries into the rail shooter genre, and I would recommend playing both in the wild. And while the Special Edition is the superior version, hands down, the home port of the Standard Edition is still worth it. I mentioned before that arcade machine collectors need to be careful of bootlegs. The modified PlayStation 3s are easy to replicate, so bootleg machines are a dime a dozen. If you want references, the Namco parts site have you covered. For the original edition, the free-to-download manual has pictures of the original sitting booth, and the official replacement parts have preview images of the artwork for the standing booth. For the special edition, the main image of the page is the sitting booth. I don't know if the giant skull version is legit or not. Overall, just keep an eye out for the illegal use of the Pirates of the Caribbean logo or a random anime character. In other words, just use common sense. And I believe that's it. This is one of those games that make the genre so much fun, and I knew immediately that I would cover it one day. Unlike my previously covered rail shooters, I still see these machines on a regular basis, although they are currently being pushed out by newer machines. I think this game is a good entry point for people new to the genre, as the setting is easy to get behind with little use of horror elements. I'm gonna go now and treasure hunt things I already own. Bye!
Game over.
That's right, we did it! Oh!
I said get out of my way.